Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're on season 6, episode number 32. Tonight's the sports edition, Andy. Tonight's June 16th, 2025, middle of June.
Yes.
What does that mean? Lots of sports, right?
Yes. We're
Middle of
knee deep
June.
and everything.
Middle of June, lots of things happening, lots of things wrapping up. Winter sports still going on. Spring sports ending.
And
UFL.
if you listen to our songs episodes too, our streak ends at 1 of consecutive episodes with a tornado siren going off. If we were recorded earlier, we would have had it, but the streak ends at 1.
The streak ends, I thought it was going to overlap on tonight's episode, having back-to-back episodes with tornado warnings going off in the background while we're recording.
We tried to record earlier to get it in, but yeah.
So touchdown, tornadoes were spotted. Funnel clouds are spotted. I think a couple of touchdowns in the vicinity. I don't know how close, but we avoided anything.
No damage out here at the Shadow Studios, so we're good.
Nothing here. We're Western Carver County, most listened to podcast. Tonight we got sports. Andy, let's start with the trivia question.
Fire away.
On this day 30 years ago, what Major League Baseball stud hit his 400th career home run? 400th. So going back a ways, this was 30 years ago. So 1995. We'll get to the answer at the end of the episode.
Have to think about that. Here we go. Barry Sanders. I'm sure you've heard of him. Football Hall of Fame running back, recently revealed after suffering a heart attack a year ago. See, and that's what I love about Barry Sanders. He was never flashy when he played. And now we're finding out, a year ago I had a heart attack.
Yeah, not in the news, not breaking TMZ.
Right. No one, ESPN didn't interrupt programming for it. Not that Barry's not a great guy, but he just never looked for the attention and put out every time he was constipated in the news, Sanders, a 10-time Pro Bowler and 6-time first-team All-Pro, was recently interviewed by CBS Sports, and he opened up about the scare, which occurred late June. He said he thought he was just dealing with heartburn. He felt the visit to the emergency room, and following a heart procedure and other tests, found out he had suffered a mild heart attack. Okay, so we're just saying this right now, like everything else, when someone like horrible comes like this. Guys, take this stuff seriously. See your doctor. Get tested. Don't screw around. Heartburn's a sign of a heart attack. Tums ain't taking it. Go in. Period. Top 5 closest Major League ballparks to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
Raleigh wants to get an expansion team, or one of the Florida teams should move there because they can't draw for piss. Everyone goes, well, there's a lot of teams around Raleigh. Okay, the Nationals are 231 miles away. Baltimore is 265. Pittsburgh's 320. Philly 345. The Braves are 355. And Cincinnati's just a little bit farther than that. So are they close? Yes. Are they far away? Yes. I still don't think it'd be overcrowded if Raleigh got a team. I really don't. Another thing that scares me is that area is so minor league strong. I don't know how much I'd take away from that.
Yeah.
That'd be my only fear factor there. But maybe some of those other minor league teams would relocate. I don't know. But that's just my opinion. Raleigh should have a pro team. Okay, yes, no, I could argue either way. My fear is that it affects the minor league teams there, but
fair enough.
All right. What's the path for Major League Baseball for struggling AAA catcher Harry Ford, the number 5 Mariners and number 63 overall prospect in the Major League pipeline? If you recall, a couple of years ago, during the World Baseball Classic, we were going over teams in bracket C, and Great Britain was one of them. A young Harry Ford was their catcher. And I believe we said, watch this kid. He's getting close. He's at AAA. He's struggling. But look at the Mariners now. They got that studded catcher right now, so there's no rush to bring him up. I say just let him sit. No pressure. Just tell him he's riding out the season. Maybe he might be trade bait. I don't know, because he is a top prospect. But again, just a little reminder, remember that name, Harry Ford, catcher.
Yeah, you had Andy, you had brought that name up to say follow this cat, and he is going to be making it big. This guy's going to be a stud, and we will look up and find that previous episode of when that prediction was made, because that we get some mileage out of that.
Yes.
You can say we heard it here first,
Yep.
right?
And I'm not one to brag or toot my own horn, but toot.
Yeah, that was you had tracked him early on, and this guy's going to be good.
Big fan. Major League Baseball viewership has been up. Fox is up 10%, MLB Network 13%, TBS 16%. Japan's up 22%, and so is ESPN. And MLB TV is up 27%. I kind of got the MLB TV through T-Mobile. I don't know if that's included in that or not. I'm going to say it is, because viewership is viewership when it's up.
Yeah.
I mean, even Fox is up 10%. And here's the thing. These numbers are up 10%. Fox says our numbers are up 10%. Find me a game on Fox on the weekend. Are they including FS1 on that? They might be, because they have championship fishing on or some other crap like that sometimes. I don't know. Here we go.
Love it.
I don't have any pictures for this because there's a lot of video stuff, and I had a little trouble transferring the videos because I stink at technology. But I did put the things on our social media, and I'm sure you've seen them all. The WNBA. And I'm only using Angel Reese as an example because she was the most recent person to have this happen to. Girls, you got to cut that hair. You can't have it down to your waist. People are jumping and climbing underneath. Arm is going to get stuck in that hand or in that hair, grab a ponytail every now and then. That's just part of life.
Okay.
So don't get all upset when it happens. 99 out of 100, they're not going up for the loose ball and coming down going, I'm grabbing a chunk of hair on this bitch. No, it happens. Football players, it happens. Tuck it under or cut it off. I had a mullet back in the day. If I wasn't so bald on top, I'd grow it long again, but it's not going to happen. If you want it long, things are going to happen to it. It's going to get caught in your workforce. So girls, you want it long, great. I'm not saying shave it. I'm not saying get a crew cut. No. A lot of great players have it long. I'm not saying I'll get short. No. But don't get upset when it gets grabbed. It's not intentional. Bodies are flying. Things are slapping around. It happens. Just relax.
Yeah, it's like the football players when they have the long hair
and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then they complain when it gets pulled or yanked, and you that is it going to happen? Probably not, but is it possible? Yes, it's something could happen. Basketball, same thing. It's I don't know. It's the territory. You make the decision to do it. Something could and will happen. So
braid it up tight and tuck it in.
That's a good soapbox.
Well, Caitlin Clark was out. Viewership was down 55%. This was going to kind of be a little soapbox because I've said this before Caitlin Clark. I've said it during Caitlin Clark. I said it during her injury. I watch it anyway. If you're watching just for her, glad you're getting the eyes on it, but learn more of the game so you can appreciate it when she's on next time. I'm a little hurt the numbers were down that much without her. I kind of say shame to the WNBA a little bit too for not promoting someone else, making someone else. When you put all your focus on Caitlin Clark games and Caitlin Clark this and that, well, when she's out with injury, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to focus on 2-3 girls to spread the wealth out. The Liberty, New York Liberty have a couple of good players. The Lynx have plenty of great players. You got Paige Beckers, who's another rookie phenom. Focus, share the wealth. Speaking of, in the field house, they had Indiana Fever girls game there on Saturday because it was Caitlin and they played the games there. The men's NBA championship finals attendance 17,274. The next night, women's regular season game 17,274. I think it's a big deal there in Indiana.
Wow, yeah. It is baseball. I mean, a basketball city.
That's like our hockey tournaments here, though.
It is huge.
It's like we talked about when we had the state hockey tournament here. It was the fifth. Our state finals was the fifth highest attended hockey event that weekend, including the pro games. So
big state for basketball. Big.
Now here, I'm not going to go through all the teams, but this year with the College World Series, all 8 teams are different than last year. First time it's happened in like 80 years. 8 teams different. Now, the NCAA won the Final Four. I get it. That's only 4 teams. Here's 8. You figure someone would sneak through from year to year.
Correct.
Nope. They're all different. Now, of the 8 teams, there are 7 different conferences involved. So, rah, good for all you guys. I appreciate it.
Makes it fun, a little fresh name.
And like I've said before, I said it last time, I'll say it again. I'm kind of liking this better than March Madness. These are awesome. Here's going into today what the brackets look like. Arizona's already eliminated. Murray State's got 1 loss. They were in the elimination game today. Their field is like looking at a small high school baseball field. Right? They're just not the greatest shaped field. That's not their thing. And here they made the Final 8. They're probably getting bounced today.
They did lose.
They did lose, okay.
And so, but just to make the Elite 8 for Murray State D1 with the teams and the talent that's out there, hats off, congrats. But yes, we are down to 6 teams left now.
Watch Coastal Carolina. They are hot. They won like 25 in a row. As Dan Patrick used to say, they're en fuego. He's going to sue me now, isn't he? I know he listens. Yeah. Kid for Arkansas today, junior.
Yes.
Gage Wood threw the 3rd no-hitter in history. 19 strikeouts. You look at that line, you go, oh, it must have been an error or something there. It's only a no-hitter, not a perfect game. When asked, he says, hey, you just threw a no-hitter in history. How do you describe your emotions? He goes, I guess I shouldn't have hit that guy.
Great.
Does that not have Rob Dibble written all over the comment like that?
Yes.
I guess I shouldn't have hit that guy. And, there's the line again. 9 innings pitched, 19 Ks. It's just stud game.
And this was elimination game, so they're in it now, but they continue on.
Yep.
But this was unreal. So he's projected to be a first-round draft pick.
Oh, this only helps him.
Yeah. And talk about being a blue chipper now, and now you're locked in. A performance like this.
Yeah. These college football players don't want to play in the bowl games. They don't want to hurt their draft status, which I get. A good college basketball tournament can help your draft status. Baseball is the same way. The draft is coming up during the All-Star weekend. This is only helping this game.
Gage will be a household name here. Yep. Draft middle of July.
High school baseball, here we go. Finals. We're going to go through just the finals, not the whole tournament. We're a little pressed for time here. Producer Kevin's kind of pointing his watch at me here. So
wow.
He gets a new watch. He points out it all the time. Red Lake County 15-7. Let's hear it for the number 5 seed. Yeah.
Wow.
Glencoe Silver Lake loses to Pine Island. Montevideo over Mankato East, the number 1 seed. And Minnetonka lost. See, I can still report when Minnetonka loses. I'm not bitter. They lost to a good Cretan term team. Very good game. Congrats, CDH.
Very good. Now, the baseball season, we're done now for spring sports for high school, right?
Speaking of, not quite. Congratulations to Eden Prairie for the boys' volleyball state championship. I am not going to go through golf, not because I don't like the girls and boys golf, but it's like track and tennis. You got team and singles and this and that. Check out the social medias. Check out Minnesota State High School League. You can see all your winners there.
Now, Andy.
And Minnetonka was one of them, by the way.
Last week, I did attend my very first ever Minnesota State High School golf state event. I went to the Ridges in Sand Creek and Jordan to follow a friend of the family playing in AA golf. And I've never done that before. So you can go along. It's free to get in, and you can follow along the golfer that you want on the holes that they're playing. And there's maybe 15 of the various parents or grandparents or fans or coaches that went along, and it was very interesting.
We're here to educate, but we even educate ourselves by going to new
we're always
events.
trying to expand our base here. So very interesting, very, very fun. I got my steps in for the day.
Broaden your horizons, as they say.
And took in a little golf. Very, very interesting. So
and you saw them golf and it reminded you why you don't golf.
Yes. No, but it was very interesting. Not having to carry a bag around or on a golf cart. They do a cart. They do make you walk it. They don't issue carts for the fans. So you're walking. I just did 9 of the holes, but I wanted to add that to my list of state tournament events that I've witnessed live in person. Interesting.
Russia has been informed that they will not be part of the 2026 Olympics due to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. That will be replaced by France. This was almost a soapbox also. I see both sides of this. I think I'd have no problem. I could say no problem because, well, I'm not in the Ukraine or in Russia, so it doesn't affect me. There I said that. It's a sport. You would think these athletes could separate it. You've heard that other athletes have separated their issues with country rivalries in the sport event. I think the Olympics have gotten themselves too politically involved on stuff like this. I think they could have let them play, but by not letting them play, I guess I don't really care either.
Now, does France
kind of numb to it now?
Does France typically have a team in there anyway, or are they just the second best team that they're going on?
They were probably, the top 24 teams make it, and they were 25th. Well, Russia's out, so next man up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I know a lot of the Arab countries, Saudi Arabia and stuff like that area, hockey is starting to grow. The Orient hockey is starting to grow. So
just one question here. I'm looking at the verbiage here, Andy. Now it says the way it's crafted, Russia has been informed that they will not be part of the Olympics. This is not the same as saying they're bowing out or taking the year off, or they're
not invited.
They're not basically invited. They will not be part of it. So it sounds like
this was on a hockey page, so I don't know if they're talking it's a hockey picture.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming it's just hockey for this part, not the whole thing. I haven't heard more. Maybe that could change as they get closer here. I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
But the fact they're showing a hockey picture, that's where I have to wait and see what they say.
Okay.
Because France qualifies for all the other sports too, so that's why I think it was just hockey on this part.
I see. Okay.
Which, again, is kind of the head scratcher. Why would you kick them out of one sport, not the rest?
Yeah, interesting.
Unless they are kicked out of everything and France has taken their place in hockey. And some of the other events like skiing, well, I guess we'll just have less competitors,
Or the same.
There's those things you qualify to coming up, so maybe just more guys will qualify.
Something
Russia's always just kind of given a spot because they're Russian.
To monitor.
Yeah. And here's the best part about hockey. 9-year-old girl's favorite part of the game 3 in the finals. I really liked it when they punched each other a lot. This is why you got to bring your kids to the games. You don't see this square dancing in football or basketball. Bring them to a hockey game while we watch fighting. And that's what I got, man. I just want to say back to the Olympic one. We are big Olympic followers here when the Olympics come up. Try to dot that stuff here and there. I'll be following that a little more if Russia's out of everything. If it's just the hockey, how they're going to do that. How are they doing other sports? We'll keep you informed. It's like a little teaser.
Follow
us in the next few weeks and see what we find out.
Yeah, we do follow, Summer and Winter Olympics. We'll each follow a share of sports, not every single one, but we do provide coverage. So that's always interesting. Especially
there will be no curling coverage here at all. No.
Yeah, there are certain things that, we're not going to cover just because.
I don't care if the neighbor's in it. We're not covering curling. No.
Now, Andy, this is June 15th. Now, today's the 16th, actually. We've got the 2 winter sports now almost done.
Yes.
NHL, they've got the final 2 games of the Stanley Cup Tuesday and Friday of this week. As we're speaking now, today it's Monday, so tomorrow's the next game, and if needed, there's one on Friday. So this week we'll be done with that Stanley Cup. NBA, tonight, the next game on as we speak. And then after that, if necessary, Thursday and Sunday. So By the time next week rolls around for our next week's sports show, all the winter sports will be done as far as the pro sports. Now,
Love the
UFL.
pictures of the hockey championship and the basketball championship.
Yes. UFL is a spring sport that ended. Now, get a load of this. DC Defenders won that game 58-34. We didn't watch it. We didn't take part, as far as monitoring that. But that's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of high-scoring stuff. A lot of the games during the season, I noticed, were small, 30, 35 points combined.
Right.
And so I think that may have pushed away some of the coverage, some of the fans thinking, I don't want to watch when it's just so low scoring and dull. Arena Football League, as well as I do, very high scoring, fun stuff. But the UFL was really dipping down there for points. And now they come up with this 58-34 final game, and very good stuff. The MVP, Jordan Ta'amu, quarterback, threw for 4 touchdown passes, ran for a touchdown, passed for a 2-point conversion, and received a 2-point conversion catch.
Nice.
And threw for 390 yards. So if anyone had him on a fantasy UFL, lots of fantasy numbers there. Some of those were records. I don't know which ones, but he was breaking records, this guy. And, he spent a week with the Minnesota Vikings in 2023 on the practice squad.
He's one of us. Why the local news didn't make a big press conference about that, I have no idea.
And bounced around in the NFL as a taxi squad guy, a third-string receiver. Didn't really ever make it, but has done well in the XFL, the USFL, now the UFL, the XFL, the USFL. All these, he's been doing fine. But never, ever drafted in the NFL coming out of college for Ole Miss. Didn't get drafted. And now here he is, 8 years later. He's made a name for himself in this little market. He's
got a ring now, baby.
He's got a ring. So, Andy, a question to you is, would NFL teams be looking at a guy like this to say, hey, let's pick him up? Or do they still say that, yeah, but that's still XFL. That's still UFL. It still doesn't matter. He's still not going to – it's not going to convey over to this league.
If it was 2 years out of college, I'd look at him. It's 8 years out of college. Sorry.
So, yeah, he was doing great numbers.
If I was a team that had nothing else to lose, or if I was I'm the Washington Commanders. I got my young quarterback. He's a stud. He's this, that, the other thing. We're going to throw a ton of cash at him. I can get this guy in the cheap as a backup. Maybe. He's got championship experience. He's got experience. So if things go wrong, I do have a good veteran backup. So it'd be that type of team who's got the very young rookie quarterback. I can get this guy in the cheap who's just going to be happy to have a job. Again, the backup quarterback's always in my opinion, unofficial player coach.
Yeah.
He's been around different organizations. Hey, coach this taught me that. Coach this taught me that. And if he's also got a little receiving background, they want to throw in trick plays. Again, I use the Commanders because their quarterback's a very able guy that could do something like that. And mark this down, June 16th at the 23 and a half minute mark. So when the Commanders sign this guy in a few weeks, I told you so.
Say we told you so. But and maybe maybe it doesn't pan out. Maybe they'll never be a convert over to a good quarterback and just be happy that he's a very successful guy at this level. Maybe Canadian football. I don't know really where else.
Maybe he's going to take his ring and tell the rest to bite me, and I'm going to retire.
And that's it. It just it is what it is. But there are plenty of scouts there at those games looking for those top players. But I just don't know if that quarterback position is one of those that translates well into back to the NFL because he was not on any radar, wasn't drafted through 7 rounds of quarterbacks in the NFL draft, 7 rounds, and then has been putting on these huge numbers. Phenomenal athlete, obviously, but congrats, hats off to him. Major League Baseball, busy time going on here. D1 World Series, of course, down to the final 6. Town ball, a lot of town ball going on. Andy, I looked at some of the schedules. I think we're about halfway through the regular season. Is
getting
that
there? Yeah. Okay. Labor Day weekend's the final, so August, September are the playoffs. So
so good stuff. A lot of games. And teams are busy with the last week with rainouts and flooding and weather concerns. They've got to make these games up yet. I ran into someone else, Andy, who is confused on this exhibition. A lot of these games are considered exhibition games. And so we do hear that quite a bit for this first year with all these changes. People are confused. It's not a real game, but yet it's not a scrimmage. It's an exhibition. So
because the games count, so they could say I played a game towards the playoffs to qualify for that.
Stats counts. Everything counts. But if you're not in the right class, playing the same class, it's different. So I ran into someone else that had those feelings. Out at Hamburg, I ran into someone who did a compliment on the program with the Waconia Lakers, and so they really liked that and some of the things that went on off. In the off season, the things that happen over and above the Waconia preview show, but all the things and the changes that are going on here this season. We got a few compliments about some of those shows. So good stuff. Trivia answer on this day 30 years ago, Andy. 1995. No, 1995. Who hit his 400th career home run? Take a guess.
Trying to think who was older and that many home runs. 400. Got only a couple of names I'm thinking of. I don't think Matt Williams got the 400. I know Grace didn't get the 400. Will Clark?
Close. It was Andre Dawson, the Hawk.
The Hawk. Hit that 50 home run year at the Cubs. That kind of helped.
That really helped. So, a lot of home runs there. Hit his 400th on this day 30 years ago, 1995. Andre Dawson hit his 400th career home run.
All right.
Good stuff. That's all we've got for this week. We'll have more updates. Remember, the winter season now done. Spring season wrapping up for all these sports. Will be all solely into summer now, I think, for next week's episode.
It's going to be nothing but baseball, baby, from now till Labor Day.
Fun stuff. See you next week.
See ya.